Hi, everyone. Sorry I am late on this live. I think yesterday was when I told you guys that I wanted to talk about intermittent fasting. So, if you guys don't know, my name is Jenny. I am a third year family medicine and I have two kids. I am still breastfeeding, and London is currently 9 months old. So, I started intermittent fasting when I discovered it back in med school, and I found that it was the easiest way for me to lose weight. And since I started doing that, I just didn't stop. It was just I felt like it was so easy for me. So let me give you a little bit of backstory, and then I'll tell you guys what I do for fasting. So when I was in high school and college, or when I was in college, I was a dance minor. And so I was really active. I took like three dance classes at a lot, even when I wasn't in classes. I didn't start really going to the gym until I went to med school. But I was always like a thick girl. Like I was never really super skinny. Um, I weighed about in college, I wanna say I weighed about 135, and then or 130 to 135 pounds, and then in med school, I was anywhere from, 140 to 145, and then when I was pregnant with Wyatt, I went all the way up to, like, 173 or something like that. So I was never really, like, small for my frame, like 5'4". And so I was always like when I was applying to med school and I had to do a physical and stuff, the doctor had to tell me that my BMI was considered overweight because it was like 25 BMI or something. Um, so yeah, so then it was super hard for me to lose weight just because I had a huge appetite. I love eating, yes, all the time, and I never felt full. And obviously, I can't over exercise a poor diet. So in med school, I don't know how I discovered it, but I started eating like only lunch and dinner. I honestly don't remember how I discovered intermittent fasting, but there's lots of research behind it for like insulin resistance and with people with in diabetes. So I found that in med school, when I only ate lunch and dinner, I lost about 1 pound a day until I was like at my equilibrium weight, I would say. And I really started seeing that after like the first few days of doing intermittent fasting. I would say the first 3 days are the hardest. And then after that, things got a lot easier. And I've been doing it for like 5 years or something now. So I feel like it comes a lot easier for me. And so what I do is that I don't eat until 12 o'clock noon, sometimes later. And then I end my meals at 8 o'clock. Hi, guys. So I end my meals at 8 o'clock. And I know, I feel like this is the hardest thing because during quarantine, all you want to do is eat. Like I've been baking more and like obviously eating more. So I did gain a little bit of weight, but I feel like intermittent fasting helps me sustain like a more normal level. I feel like I'd be gaining a lot more if I wasn't doing this whole intermittent fasting thing. So in the mornings, I still drink coffee. Like anything that has 0 calories, you can still drink, like coffee, green tea, um, like fizzy water. Oh my gosh, you guys are from everywhere. And what is it? Those things, water, all those things you can drink while you are fasting. And then I usually break my fast with a salad. And I know it sounds bad, but it's because Stan doesn't really eat a lot of veggies when I'm home. And so I like to get in like a lot of vegetables and greens and salads and things like that while I'm at work. So I usually eat like a huge salad and a soup and like a bar or something at lunch. And then at dinner, it's actually a lot more carbs. And then I eat that with my family. It's just easier for me because, like, it's a meal that I have with my family, and I don't want to skip out on that. And then we stop eating at 8 o'clock. Yeah, it's hard. You have to drink coffee with just black coffee. You can't drink coffee with heavy creamer because that kind of breaks your fast. I think anything over 50 calories breaks your fast. Um, and you have to be careful during breastfeeding. I am currently breastfeeding and I still intermittent fast, but you have to understand that there's a lot of like electrolyte shifts while you're breastfeeding. And so it's really important to stay hydrated. There's these electrolyte tablets that have no sugar in them that you can drink. It's like 0 calories as well, but it still has electrolytes. I have no change. Well, I've been losing weight because when you're breastfeeding, you lose approximately like 300 to 500 calories by breastfeeding. And so if you eat the same amount of calories, you're going to lose weight. And I'm still making about 20 to 30 ounces of milk a day. So it hasn't affected my supply, but I do see that I am losing weight. Um, and so I try to stay hydrated. I still try to eat like the right amount of calories. So I'm not like trying to eat less or anything. I still eat to cessation. But yeah. And then when I was pregnant with London, I felt like I was still doing like kind of like keto and intermittent fasting just because I had gestational diabetes. And fasting can decrease your insulin resistance. So I was doing that, and I had the arm thing where you put it on and then it would monitor your blood glucose for 2 weeks at a time. And I found that when I ate like artificial sweeteners, it it didn't really bump my sugar. And I don't know how it is on a molecular level, but I didn't see it on when I was scanning because I would drink fizzy water and that has like artificial sweetener in it, or like, what is it? Artificial sweetener chocolate. I would drink those or eat those, and then when I checked my sugar, it was never really like a huge bump. Maybe there was a little bit sometimes, but I didn't see any significant change. I'm sure there might be, and if I look into it deeper and the biochemistry behind it, but I haven't figured it out yet. There's a really good YouTube guy who's like the keto king. What's his name? Thomas something. Let me tell you guys his name. Oops. Thomas L. Thomas Lamar? No. What is his name? Darn it. Let's see. Thomas Daylor. Delauer. So he has multiple videos talking about sweeteners and how it affects keto. So if you guys want to learn more about that, definitely look at his video. Let's see. So I find that it's really easy for me to fast when I'm at work because I'm just like so distracted and I'm doing things all the time. It's a lot harder for me to fast when I'm at home because my kids are eating like all the time. Stan does intermittent fasting with me too. If you want to fast more for longevity, which is more of like cell apoptosis and all that stuff, then you would probably need to do longer fasts, like 3-day fasts and stuff like that. There's podcasts that I listen to. Rhonda Rose, a PhD person who talks about cell apoptosis and all that. So definitely look into her. Oh my gosh, it's raining so much outside. Um, let's see. What other questions do you guys have? So I try to eat a lot healthier now too, like, I eat a lot of fish, I try to limit my red meat intake, I eat a lot of nuts. As I said, I try to eat lots of vegetables, getting my family to eat vegetables, like, it's so hard. You guys know about why it's so hard, but I definitely feel like, um, just switching that, like, eating more of a salad at lunch has been able to regulate my digestive system and help me lose more weight. So right now, I think I'm like the lightest I've ever been since my wedding. So at my wedding, I was doing intermittent fasting and exercising like 3 to 5 days a week, and I was 128 pounds, I think. Yes, I think so. I think that's the lightest I've ever been, 128, but I was working out 3 to 5 days a week. That's insane. Like, I don't work out at all now, and all I do is the diet, and I'm currently 135. Am I? 135 or 125? I don't remember. Shoot. I can't be 125. That's way too low. I'm thinking no, it has to be like 130 or something, because 'cause I'm really low now. I think I'm like 129 or 130, something like that. I'll let you guys know on when I go check later, because London's sleeping and I can't get to my weight. But yeah, so right now I'm currently doing the, 16/8. So I fast for 16 hours and eat for the 8 hours. Sometimes my window is a lot less because I'm working and I don't find out, when I can actually eat. Like the other day, I told you guys I was at the acute respiratory clinic and I worked all the way until like 1:30, and then I had patients at 1:30, and I also had a patient who water broke and I had to go admit her on the OB floor, and so, like, it was a hot mess, so I didn't eat until, like, 3 PM, and I stopped eating at 8 because my family had dinner together. But my meals are huge, so I'm eating all my calories in the 2 meals. And then so on days when I'm not fasting, yes, I feel like I do eat more, but I feel like these days is it's actually good, because if you do something the same for too long, I feel like your metabolism, you kind of lower your metabolism. So if you're, they've seen this in studies, right, with The Biggest Loser. If people restrict their calories significantly for an extended period of time, then their body gets used to this certain amount of calories, and then your body's smart, and you're going to live off that amount of calories. And so if you decrease, um, so the so what I suggest for patients who have a hard time fasting to begin with, I tell them start with, the easiest way to lose weight actually. So start with 3 meals a day, and then cut it down to 2 meals a day, and then cut it down to 1 meal a day for threes. So 3 days for 3 meals, 3 days for 2 meals, and then 3 days with 1 meal, and then start over again. So your body is constantly like, so at the end of the week, you should still have a deficit of calories, but you're still giving that your body a confusion. Obviously, if you have underlying health issues like diabetes or pregnant or other things like that, definitely talk to your doctor before you try any of this stuff. But this is just what I do, and I find that works, for me. Um, so yes. Um, yeah, so I found that as long as I stick to this, I don't feel like, I honestly don't feel like, this intermittent fasting is like a diet anymore. Like, I feel like it's just my way of life. I don't feel like I'm ever going to change that. Maybe in the future, I might want to do longer fasts, just for like the whole longevity purposes, but not for like weight or anything. Um, let's see. Otherwise, I feel great. I mean, I feel tired all the time from work, but not necessarily because I intermittent fast. I feel like I still have a lot of energy. I always feel satiated, which means like I always feel full, um, which is always a good thing. I think sometimes in the morning, like I'll get hungry, um, but after a while, like, your body gets used to it, and then if I feel a little bit hungry, I'll just drink a little bit of lemon water or, like, drink black coffee, then I'm fine. Stan has a really hard time because he always likes to have, creamer in his coffee, and so he's like, "I can't drink coffee until noon." Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Um, okay, so ideally there is a circadian rhythm to your diet as well. So the circadian rhythm to your diet as well. Like in the morning, you're supposed to be burning more calories than later on in the evening. So the study have shown that later on the food that you eat later on in the evening will more likely be stored as fat. So ideally, if I was doing this correctly in an ideal world, then I would eat a really large lunch, like full of carbs and whatnot, and then I would use it and burn it up as energy and be active in my day, which does not happen. And then at night, I would eat a smaller meal, and then before bed, and wouldn't necessarily eat like more than a few hours before bed. But what I'm doing now is eating like a smaller, light-ish lunch, and then a huge carb-loaded dinner. And so I find that it's still working for me, and I will likely change that later on when my schedule is more regular. But as of right now, like I like how it is. Having a large meal with my family, like that's just how I grew up in my culture. Like we eat huge family dinners together. So I'm not going to change that just because that's what I value. Um, so I also think that there's like a lot of gut brain access to these things. Um, so like the vagus nerve is all there. I've been taking probiotics. I do kimchi a lot, but basically, I feel like once you have better gut health, you have better digestion, and it helps with weight regulation as well. I try not to eat so much like dairy and cheese and inflammatory foods, even like gluten, but that's really hard. Yes, I do consume wine. I'm not consuming wine this week because I am on call. And so I can't have any sort of alcohol when I'm on call, just in case, like a patient could call at any time. So I can't have anything in my system. But usually, babies with eczema, it's hard because sometimes it's just genetic. Sometimes babies need a little bit of probiotic. I know Wyatt had a lot more eczema because I had gestational diabetes, and then this is just my deduction, but um, I had a lot of antibiotics prior to his delivery. And then he got a lot of antibiotics for his ear tubes. Anyways, he has really horrible eczema. Oh, so everyone's asking again, what time do I fast? So I fast generally my fasts start my eating window. So basically I start eating at 12 o'clock noon because I get free lunch at work, and then my fast ends at 8 p.m. So from noon to 8 is my eating window. So basically I fast from 8 p.m. until the next day, 12 p.m. Does that make sense? I have tried so in college or not in college, in med school, I was doing 1 meal a day because I was studying for, the board exams, and then I was too tired or I was too busy, and then sometimes I just do 1 meal, but that was very rare because I love eating. It has not affected my milk supply. If you guys I said earlier on, like, I drink lots of water and I still try to maintain the calorie intake that you need for adequate maintenance of calories. Usually, breastfeeding takes anywhere from 300 or 500 calories. So I still eat the acquired amount to maintain. So I eat anywhere from 1800. I think I eat around like 1800 calories, if not more a day. I haven't tracked my food intake for quite some time, but like, even if I ate the same amount of foods, I just feel like eating in this time window, I was losing like a pound every day. So supplements that I take, currently I only take vitamin D, and then I take the probiotic, and then I'm supposed to take my prenatal vitamin, but I'm really bad at taking those because they are like horse pills. I'm honestly bad at taking supplements in general, but they are on my counter and I'm supposed to be taking them. Okay. So how long did it take me to lose weight? Um, so I think in so when I did this in med school, I don't remember how long it took for me to lose the amount of weight towards my wedding because I think it got harder at the end. Obviously, when you have a lot to lose, it's easier to lose in the beginning. So when I was like 40 pounds, like my body was just like, oh, you don't need that much weight on you. You're like 5'4". And so I lost the weight a lot more easily. So when I got down to 30 pounds, it got a lot harder. I think I'm at like 37 or 27 now. And so I don't really look at the scale anymore because I'm just like, I am happy, but the way my clothes fit and like I'm eating everything I want. And so I just time it within that window. And most of the time I'm like so busy now that I just, don't eat. But I think Stan and I had this huge argument in the beginning when wanted to start this intermittent fasting because he was just like, everyone tells you that breakfast is the most important meal of the day and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, well, who tells you that? Probably like breakfast people like Kellogg or whatever that are telling you that breakfast is important. But, breakfast is what it is, breaking the fast. And so in Asian cultures, we really eat anything for breakfast. Like it's not necessarily eggs and bacon and whatnot. I eat leftovers from dinner for breakfast. But it's just whatever time that you break the fast, right? And I think it's more important of with what you break the fast with as compared to like what it is, I guess. Um, what kind of foods do I eat? I eat everything. I eat everything. Like I eat fruits, I eat vegetables, I eat meats, I eat chicken, I eat fish, um, you know, everything. Candy, chocolate, nuts, like literally, I eat everything. There's nothing that I restrict from my diet. I don't drink much tea though. I do drink black coffee, and that's because I don't sleep, not by choice. If I could sleep more, if I could sleep 8 hours, if I could sleep 10 hours, I would totally do that. But I have a 8 month or 9 month old now who still wakes up 2 to 3 times a night to breastfeed. And so I have to wake up and then I'm on call for work and I have patients delivering babies. And so there's really no time for me to sleep. So I didn't drink coffee until I had my kids. Let's see. So in the beginning, yes, I did get hungry around like 10 a.m. too, and that's really normal. After a while, your body gets used to it, and then there's the ghrelin and insulin spike. Ghrelin makes you feel hungry, and then Usually after an hour or so, it dies off if you don't eat anything. And then slowly that curve, that spike gets lower and lower the longer that you do intermittent fasting. What causes milk to be inflammatory? I mean, it's cow's milk. I guess our bodies are not used to breaking down that protein that's meant for another animal. Um, let's see. Oh my gosh, so many questions. So I wish I had a better workout routine. I remember back in in med school, that was when I was working out more consistently. I would do insanity, or I love to do weightlifting. I would do hit cardio or hit lifting. Like I would pick 4 exercises and do supersets. So say if I pick 4 exercises, then I do the whole body. I can do squats, and then I'll do curls, and then I'll do lunges, and then maybe sit ups or something. So I would pick 4 exercises and then do 12 reps each, and then do them all, and then take a break. So it would be squat 12, curls 12, lunges 12, sit-ups 12, and then break, and do that 4 times. And then that would be my workout. And then I would do hit cardio. And what that is walking. For me, it was walking on the treadmill for 3 minutes, and then running at speed 5 for 30 seconds, and then running at speed 7 for 30 seconds, and then running at speed 9 or 10 for 30 seconds, and then going back down to 5 for 30 seconds. And I would do that 4 times. And then cool down would be walking for another 3 minutes. So total would be 12 minutes. And after that, I was like so tired and dripping sweat. But that's always like my warm up: 3 minutes, 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds times 4, and then another 3 minutes. You guys should try it. Too bad. Wait, all the gyms are closed. So maybe you guys should try it when the gyms open again. Let's see. So yes, so I've realized this. Like I've tried everything else before. Like I've tried um cutting down my food intake and everything. It just takes so long for me to diet and exercise other ways. And I feel like after a month of doing other diets and other exercises intensely and stuff, then my body starts changing. I was like, oh, my body's changing, but I'm already eating like crap. And so, like, it lasts for a month. And then the next month, I gain weight again. But intermittent fasting is so different because I feel like I lose the weight within the first few days or the week. Like the water weight goes down, the inflammation goes down, and then I think I start losing like a pound a day on day 3. Thanks. Thanks, my lashes. I did them myself. Yeah, Stan says that too. Stan says it's my genetics. Um, but I don't know, because I was never really thin. Like I told you guys, I was 145 pounds, 140 to 145, um, a lot of college and med school. So that's not thin for a person who is 5'4". Yeah, I wouldn't consider myself, yeah, I was never obese, but I was considered overweight based on my BMI. And that's also because I regulated what I ate. Um, I didn't let myself eat like everything, but I also was very active. Like I was taking 3 dance classes at a time, which is an hour each class multiple times a day. And so I was burning a lot of calories that way. So, um I think in the beginning, like when I started eating large meals, I was so full that I was tired. But then it's hard to say because I'm always tired from working so much. Like as a student, as a medical student, as a resident, I just work so much. And so it's hard to say if this fasting thing is causing me to be tired, but I don't feel it. Stan is also intermittent fasting with me too, and he loves it. Um, so, babe,
So
do you want to tell them about your intermittent fasting?
I'm gonna say I lost like 45 pounds.
He lost 45 pounds intermittent fasting, and Stan is not a skinny guy. Okay, so tell them how much you weighed at your most.
258.
258, and he is 5'3.5", 5'4".
6'3.5".
Oh, 6'3". Yeah, sorry.
Mhm.
He's 6'3.5". I think he's 6'4", and he's lost
Yeah, lost 48 pounds.
48 pounds by just intermittent fasting. Well, he's working out a lot more, but he has kids at home, so he's not working out consistently. And after he's done this, okay, tell him I'm talking too much. You tell him how you feel about intermittent fasting.
I just think it's a really simple, consistent way of doing things. Just eat from noon to 8, and then if you really want to lose faster weight, then you obviously eat
Eat
a
better.
lot healthier. Yeah,
Yeah.
but even if you don't eat healthy, at least you can stay the same. I feel like, at least for me, like whenever I just want to stay the same, I can just kind of eat whatever, but only between noon and 8, as long as I don't eat a bunch.
Yeah, so then you don't even track what you eat, right? So you just and our
Most of
diet,
the time,
yeah, our diet is horrible, guys. Like we ate a ton of rice, like Stan would eat, or we would eat lots of meats. Vegetables would be, we try to have one vegetable with each meal, but it's not a lot. And so if you would calculate that out, it's still considered not an awesome diet. And so I would say if you want to maintain, then you can intermittent fast. But if you want to lose weight, then you would obviously switch up your diet, eat more vegetables, eat more lean meats. And then if you want to be even more than that, then you start exercising. How many push-ups did you do today?
100.
100?
Mm.
That's crazy. We were originally going to go to Vegas, and now that's canceled. So nothing to look nothing to look forward to. Yes, we fast together. Oh, every people are from Hawaii.
Nice.
Menu ideas from intermittent fasting. Honestly, you guys can eat anything. People are wondering how we do it. So it's harder with kids because obviously kids can't intermittent fast, right? So and we don't want them to. And so we always have food around. Like Stan will still make eggs and bacon, or like oatmeal. What else do you make?
Yeah, we just don't eat breakfast.
Pancakes.
Feed the kids whatever, but just don't eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we cook them, or he cooks them breakfast, but we just don't eat it. Oh, my friends who fast during the month of Ramadan lose so much weight because they don't eat anything during the day and they eat at night. So they eat like one meal before they go to bed, and then they don't eat during the day. So that's basically like fasting. There was a study who there was a study done in the people who did Ramadan, and they only ate like one meal a day or something like that, and they showed that they lost a significant amount of weight. Also decreased their insulin resistance. I can't find If I find that study again, I'll link it down below. I guess I didn't really explain this. So intermittent fasting enables you to lose the fat better because during the fasting phase, when you use all your glucose stores, you start burning your fats. So even though you're eating the same amount of calories, during the fasting window, you have no more stored glucose, and that's when you start burning calories. If you keep eating and you have insulin spikes throughout your day, your body is just going to use the insulin. I mean, your body's just going to use the glucose instead of using up your fat stores, and that's why it's better to eat it in one time frame. I do have a sweet tooth, and I eat donuts and chocolate and cookies all the time. I'm trying to cut that out because it's not good for you. It's not good for your gut, but it has not affected my weight loss. Yes, the Ramadan was the original intermittent fasting. Wait, what weight did I tell you I was at
When?
the other day? Was I 120 or 130?
Not
35?
120, 125,
125?
124, something like that.
Okay, not 135, right? I feel like I'm a lot
No,
less than that.
no.
Yes. So I'm probably like 127, right? 128, 127 right now. And that's like the lowest I've been since our wedding. Yeah.
Mm.
And all I do is fasting and breastfeeding. If you guys want to lose some weight, try breastfeeding. All right. Any other questions? I feel like you guys should all try it out. We should all do a fast together. There's an app that you guys could use. What is it called? It's called Zero. Oh, you guys can't see that. Oh, it says 40 days since my fast. That's not true. But basically, what you do is you press this little button and it says start fast, and then it counts down. Obviously, I haven't been eating for the last few hours. Um, but sometimes we stop eating even before 8. So I'm pretty sure my fasts are longer than 16 hours. Let's see. Yeah, we should. When I learn more about fasting for longevity, like there's multiple people with PhDs or scientists and MD PhDs that have been studying cell death, and then like what do they call it? Basically, youth or whatever. So you know how your curve of life goes like this, like you're living and then you plateau and then you start dying and then your health goes down like this. So there's some people that studied where they want to um, stop basically like the disease process and live like this before they drop off and pass. So basically make the most of your life and be the healthiest you can be way into like your 60s and 70s before you pass. So I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't learned much and haven't read enough to talk about it yet. But that's what I'm going to look into next. A lot of people say it's starting off with fasting. How long did it take you to lose 48 pounds?
That was like 5 months.
5 months.
But that was going to the gym 4 to 5 days a week, running a lot, and fasting. Yeah.
And fasting. Yeah. So
But then I gained like 15 pounds back, so don't judge me. That was when I stopped fasting, but now I'm back to fasting. So
Okay. Yeah, so it's something that you could do on and off. I feel like on the weekends I don't fast as much or I'm not stringent about it because your body needs to like, it can't get used to one thing. I was telling them can't get used to one thing. So I was telling them it was probably best to do 3 days, 3 days, and 3 days. 3 days of 3 meals, 3 days of 2 meals, and 3 days of 1 meal, and then cycle that. There's also studies have shown that people who ate the same amount of calories and worked out the same amount, those who did it for 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, lost more weight than people who worked out all month consistently. And then people who did 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off also worked out for like longer, continued their health journey longer than those who had to continue what they were doing every single day. So I think it's good to still take breaks and like eat whatever you want, not go to the gym every day. It's all about balance. Uh,
Alcohol.
huh? What about alcohol? A drinking window. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Um, yes, because alcohol's it's like all sugar, right? It also spikes your insulin, and when you drink alcohol, it's the worst because all the food that you eat while drinking alcohol, that's not burned because it's burning the alcohol glucose first. Um, so I don't drink alcohol often, but so I have those days, right, when we just don't fast on those days
Mhm.
when we drink alcohol, and that's fine with us. I also did intermittent fasting when I was pregnant, but I didn't do it on purpose. It's just because I was also working crazy hours. I was working inpatient and I wasn't working like, I don't know, I was working. And sometimes you just can't eat because it's kind of dirty area and you're working with patients, and I was nauseated. So I didn't do it on purpose, but yes, I was intermittent fasting as well. London turned out great. He's like a chunk and he came out at 8 pounds, 7 ounces. So it's not like he wasn't getting enough nutrition. So I fast 8 hours during the day. We both fast 8 hours, if not, or no,
Noon to 8. Yeah, eat noon to 8.
we eat
And then
from
7.
noon to 8. And sometimes shorter, depending. Because today I felt
Yeah.
like we stopped eating a lot sooner than
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
Or sometimes we'll have lunch till 1 or 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh, and then also, I try not to eat. So when I break my fast, I try not to eat carbs and fats together. Because when you first break your fast, that's when you will have like the most insulin surge. And so everything that you eat is going to be like uptake like and stored. So if you're eating both carbs and fats, a lot of those fats are going to get stored. So I try to eat only fats, or I try to eat protein and carbs just to break my fast. And then after that, I eat like whatever. So the guy I talked about, the Keto King, he has lots of good videos if you guys want to listen to him. Thomas DeLore or whatever. I'm probably butchering his name, but I'll put it here. I'll type it in the comment section so you guys can follow him or watch some of his videos. He's really good. Thomas, let's see. His name. Oops. Can I type anything? Why is it so slow? Oh man, this is horrible. ThomasDelauer. There you go. So that's his name. All right, guys. Stan and I are going to hang out. This was a long talk. Let me know. I love intermittent fasting. Let me know if I should do another video on this. But seriously, it's changed my life. It has made like exercise and weight loss so much easier. Um, but yeah, so Stan's a big advocate too. All right. Bye. Say bye.
Bye. Happy Doctor's Day, everybody.
Oh, yes. Happy Doctor's Day. End the stream. It's not ending.